What's going on, boxing fans? Julian Williams with The Distance. I have a prediction video for you guys today. This one is for the April 10th matchup between Carlos Quintana and Andre Berto for the WBC Welterweight Championship. Overall, this is actually going to be a very good matchup for Andre Berto. I know a lot of people were expecting Andre Berto to face Shane Mosley on January the 30th, but the fight, eventually did not happen because the situation out in Haiti. So now, we have a new fight, Carlos Quintana versus Andre Berto. A fight which is actually a very good test for Andre Berto because the last time he kind of faced a pure boxer, who was Luis Collazo, who was a very close fight, and he had quite a bit of trouble against Luis Collazo. It's a fight I've seen a few times. The first time I saw it, I thought the fight was a draw, and then there's a time I scored it for Collazo, another time I scored it for Berto. But overall, it's a close fight. It's a lot of back and forth action. Not necessarily action, but it was just a lot of back and forth, a lot of swing rounds. And with all that, we saw he had a lot of trouble against Luis Collazo, who's a pure boxer. So now he's taking on a good pure boxer again in Carlos Quintana. And Carlos Quintana is known pretty much for giving Paul Williams his first loss. But at the same time before that, he was known for getting steamrolled by Miguel Cotto. So overall, this is a very good test for Andre Berto now to see what kind of adjustments he's made since the Collazo fight, which was about a year ago, January 17th. So overall, it's going to be interesting to see if Andre Berto made a lot of improvements and adjustments to his arsenal in boxing. So anyway, in this fight for Carlos Quintana. I think that the number one element in this fight for Carlos Quintana is footwork. A lot of footwork, a lot of lateral movement, a lot of angular movement. He needs a lot of that in this fight because I do personally believe that Carlos Quintana has the advantage when it comes to foot speed, when it comes to footwork in this fight. I think he needs to use the footwork to his advantage against Andre Berto because with his footwork, I do believe that with Quintana's footwork, he could confuse Berto with it. He has to do a lot of boxing on the move, a lot of not necessarily the Ali type style, but he has to kind of do this thing where he hits and he doesn't get hit. Because when Berto throws, Berto has very good hand speed, so he's going to throw combinations. And with a lot of Berto's opponents, Berto was able to capitalize because they stood right in front of him. So when you have an opponent that stands right in front of you, or if you stand like right in front of Andre Berto, he's going to take advantage of that. He's going to capitalize. He's going to throw combinations because he has very good hand speed. So really, Carlos Quintana needs to pretty much box on the move. He doesn't need to be a stationary target. He needs to use his footwork. He needs to get his shots off, and he has to get his shots off while he's moving. Because if he gets his shots off while he's moving, then Berto's not going to be able to catch him with anything. Berto's not going to be able to capitalize, and Berto does tend to get hit quite a bit. So the right hook, probably the straight right hand is something that Quintana needs to focus on for this fight, because I do believe with Berto's style and with his defense, I believe that's going to be open. And also, he does need to catch and on top of that, if Berto comes in, he needs to catch Berto coming in, and he needs to move after he catches him. So really, that's really what Quintana needs to do. He needs to box. He needs to really box. And also he needs to beat Berto to the punch as hard as it sounds. And not even fight Berto on the inside. He definitely does not want to fight Berto on the inside. He wants to stay outside as much as possible and use his footwork and foot speed to win. For Andre Berto needs to use his hand speed to apply pressure onto Carlos Quintana, because we all know that Berto has the advantage in the hand speed department. He does just need to fire off and tee off on Carlos Quintana. He needs to consistently come forward and use his hand speed to apply the pressure onto him. And also, we see this works for Berto. He needs to clinch. Definitely needs to clinch in this fight because he doesn't want Quintana to box against him. He doesn't want Quintana to move or whatever. He needs to really zero in on Carlos Quintana, use his hand speed, and hopefully we see better head movement from Berto because if he's a target for Carlos Quintana, then Quintana is gonna take advantage of that. You know, we saw it in the Paul Williams fight. He's gonna take advantage if you're a moving target. And also, Quintana does have a habit and a tendency to get himself caught up on the ropes. So if he can get Quintana caught up on the ropes, he can overwhelm him with quite a few shots. And pretty much his key to victory is using his hand speed to his advantage, throwing combinations. And after he throws combinations, slip the uppercut in. Slip the uppercut, try to make it an inside fight. And he can make it an inside fight because he has the hand speed to do so. He has the hand speed, and along with the hand speed, he knows when to clinch. He knows when to tie up. So honestly, this is going to be an interesting fight to call. But I'm going to go with Andre Berto by a very close unanimous decision in this fight. Hopefully, and I'll tell you this much because I do think that Berto's going to come out firing. I think Berto's going to come in probably decisively win the first 3-4 rounds, and then maybe get a couple rounds in the later stages, and probably the last round he's going to pull it off and get a very close unanimous decision. Because let's face it, towards rounds like 4 or 5, he tends to kind of slow down, and Quintana, who can move and box, will probably eat that alive. But I do think that Berto has enough in his arsenal to pull off the unanimous decision victory by a very close margin, I believe. If not, it could be a showcase of talent. Who knows? But I'm going to go with Andre Berto by a very close unanimous decision. But anyway, that was the distance. Thanks for watching. Peace.